Hello guys, it's the new year, and that sometimes means a new you, but it definitely means you're looking at your cube and wondering where it is at, and possibly thinking about doing some kind of overhaul on your cube, mess around with some elements and change them up. In today's video, I will look at how to do that and how to best go about that in case you are a little bit stuck. So the cube I'm going to use is actually our list of the cube. The first thing you need to do if you need to overhaul your cube is use a cube list. Whether that is a list on Cube Koga like the one here that we have, or some kind of other visual cube. You want it to be visual because I find that personally easier to look at and see the cards and remember exactly what they do instead of just words. Like there are words on the Cube Koga and you can hover over to look at them, but I personally think this is a little bit easier to see. And when you're looking at your cube, the first decision you have to make are you find the cubes that you're not seeing and you play with. Other cards you should be looking at changing are cards that feel too powerful in your cube, and we'll go into a little bit more depth when we get to that note. And of course, whenever you are looking to change cards, you have to ask your question, do I just remove the card or do I have to replace the card? So recently we did an overhaul on our stage 1 fire types, and immediately because it is the stage 1 fire types, which we want to be an option for a main attacker, we knew we could not just remove it. We needed to find a replacement for those cards, and we settled on the cargo. If you want a little bit more information on how to choose cards to introduce into your cube, I would go look at the line topper video, and I'll link it here in the iCard and in the description for you guys. So we decided to go with Mag Cargo. The way we went about introducing it is we looked at the stage 1 fire types being used and which ones would fit the power level of our cube, and we settled with Mag Cargo, which is doesn't do the same thing as Arcanine, which is good because I think part of the reason Arcanine wasn't seeing play was because it was a little bit too gimmicky. It was supposed to be all about burning things, and we kind of have that already happening with our basics Heatran, and also it's just a bad idea to try to replace the card you're replacing with the exact same gimmick. So with the new stage 1 chosen, we carefully went through the Magcargos available to us to make sure we chose something that wouldn't be too powerful with the 2 fire accelerating Typhlosions in our cube. For an example of a card we're probably going to take out without replacing are these Deoxysmons. They were a very early on introduction, introduced when we're still kind of filling out what we wanted to do with our cube. Right now, if we just straight up removed all the Deoxys, Psychic would be better off for it because Psychic right now is one of the most powerful types in our cube. So looking at powerful Pokemon, we're looking at getting rid of Typhlosion because it's too powerful. And we do have level X's in our cube, and they're about the same level. The difference is we have changed rules around level X's, so they are worth 2 prizes and can be evolved anywhere. However, with Typhlosion Prime, we're not looking at really adding any other primes, so it's kind of an oddball, does a lot of damage, and is a very powerful energy accelerator. We need to replace it because it is the main stage 2 attacker, and we're not quite sure what to replace it with. Now here's another example of something that is going too powerful in your cube, and you're not going to replace it. Instead, you're going to balance it out by adding in other cards into your cube. Right now, Dusknoir is running rampant. It is one of the most unopposed Pokemons in our cube, and part of the reason why is this cube is almost halfway finished. There is nothing balancing out Dusknoir right now. So instead of removing Dusknoir, we are going to add in Dark types as probably the next expansion. But that is another thing to think about. Is this card too powerful because it does too much damage or breaks open the archetype, or is it too powerful because there's nothing standing in its way? And is there something you can introduce into your cube that will balance it out without, destroying the power of your cube? So that is something else to consider when looking at overhauling your cube. Another thing you can just do updating your cube is just do an aesthetic upgrade. So we just replaced the house we had with berries for draw 3. So that's something you can always do when upgrading your cube, is just gradually upgrade it aesthetically over time. It is harder looking at energies and all the tools and item cards and that kind of stuff, trying to find a balance for those. It's just harder by nature, but keep an eye on what keeps on going first and what kind of gives an unfair advantage to other players as you go about trying to balance your cube. And yeah, that's just looking at how we overhauled our cube recently. I hope it helps you in figuring out how you should go about looking and overhauling your own cube. And I hope you guys had a wonderful day. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment about any questions you have in the cube, and I'll try to answer them, whether with a comment or with a future video. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!